Well, the market keeps on marching on. In this video, I'm going to talk about three stocks that I think could put in some decent performance for us in the near future. They'll keep on marching from where they're at right now, including my number one underdog pick, making a very nice move up today, as I believe it's been unfairly beaten up over time. It's time to see a little bit of recovery in that. That's my friend at Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG. DraftKings, I think, also has been taking a little bit too many lumps, especially in the face of the competition that it's facing. But I still think there's a significant recovery in its future. And then RH stock is another one that I want to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about the background market bias a little bit to open. Then we'll get right into those stocks. So let me pop up SPY for you. And I talked in my videos about yesterday, saying that it was all about the moving averages and how important it was that we get back up on top of them. We are back above the 513 and 50, and so that is perfect for us for near-term bullishness. As for the moving averages, the RSI also happens to be up above 50 for SPY. The trading volume's still a little bit low, but that's okay for us for right now. We do want to watch to the north of this. We are underneath this structure where we had those previous peaks, which if we look at a higher time frame chart, you can start to see it a little bit better when we look at the weekly chart for SPY as selling whenever we get up in this territory. So we really have our work cut out for us over the next trading day or two. So we want to be watchful for that. When we go into the Qs, I talked about the importance of breaking 609.83. Let me show that to you. Let me drag this down here. 609.76, I apologize. And look what happened as soon as we got up there. We got that rejection. Sitting on top of 609.76 is just as important as it was when I talked it back here in this week of Monday, October 6th. So going back out to the daily chart, there's that candle from today, opened up above the 50, had a bit of a push down, and then finally popped back up. Couldn't break over that resistance, but closed nicely above the 13, 5, and 50, and potentially with some more bullish crossovers on the way with the 5 up over the 50 and the 13. And then IWM getting the most beat up over time, having the biggest recovery. And this is beautiful to see it gap up like it did, up over the 5 and the 13, up over the 50, and well, I'd say that it puts us in fairly bullish territory with some half decent volume is what we'll call it. And the RSI also bullish territory, sitting nicely at 56. But once again, this peak right here, it's just like the SPY. It's all sell up there. Really, we got to watch and see if that momentum can hold out for us. We really want some strong catalyst in order to keep us going. Now, mind you, Wednesday could have some profit taking before people maybe take a long weekend. I will say that Black Friday is typically a day that's fairly bullish for the markets, historically speaking. So we want to keep that in mind as well. The market's general direction is still up for now. We don't have the evidence yet that's ready for any sort of turnaround, even if there might be reasons for some near-term concern. Bitcoin, before we get to the top three that I have for you, as a matter of fact, I want to make sure they're in a good order for us. When we look at Bitcoin, we're failing right now to keep a hold of that 5. This thing could come back down and test 82 in the very near future. If we close down below this 5 EMA, then that's a further rejection off the 5, pardon me, and we could sell down further. I'm still getting over a cold that my toddler was kind enough to give to me. She's on the up and up as well, by the way. She's back to her good old self. I'm not too far behind her. Moving over to RH stock, look at this double bottom that we have so far. This thing could push up on us. So far, we have overtaken the 5 and the 13 today. We closed up above them, breaking that resistance. However, the 50 is up above that, and we're down below that 200. So this is definitely an underdog stock. It's in a bearish moment, if you will, and in an overall bear trend on the daily chart. The volume is not too significant right now, and I will say the RSI creeping up towards 50. This thing is potentially going to give us another 10 to 20%, maybe even 10 to 40% if it can really take off from where it's at right now. 10% will take us up to the 50 EMA, which you can see we got rejected at before, which if we do make it back up to about 176, which would be about that 10% climb, it probably will push us back down again, at least initially, and that coincides with the resistance that we see over here from this shelf that we sat on before. Now we're down below that structure. So RH at the bottom of the list that I have here, but I still think it's one that can give us a fairly good return in the near future today, having about a 7% day. DraftKings up 7.5%. The volume's ticking up a little bit, so you can see that with the above average volume, certainly above these lower conviction days that we had just previously. And then when we look at the RSI, we're freshly above 50 as well. And I believe that DraftKings has gotten oversold, beat up over time. The RSI is rising while the prices are falling. That is bullish divergence, my friends. DraftKings a very strong pick. So keep that on your radar for it. It could give us a stronger move to the north. Maybe potentially an initial rejection off the 50. We're going to have to watch and see. As long as the 13 holds, we should get another shot at that. Once again, like we saw with RH stock, we're down below this shelf that's over here. But with this fresh momentum, with that bullish divergence, if the market bias can hold out, DraftKings should have one heck of a good time moving north from where it's at right now. Chipotle Mexican Grill having a very strong day today, up about 7% as well, up above the 5 and the 13. Lots of resistance that happens to hit right around $35 per share. So we could climb up a little bit further from here. So $1.60, $1.70 from where it's at right now. Won't buy a guac, at least not for that one share. However, we could see that push up. And if you like options, we could be getting into that time that those call options really could pan out. Right now, we're watching the volumes start to increase on us, and it's certainly above this consolidation volume that we had over here. Earnings had a bit of a fall, a little bit of a stumble with some uncertainty. And then what you're seeing here for the RSI coming out of the oversold territory, trying to trip over into bullish territory from a momentum standpoint. So Chipotle, my number one pick out of the underdog stocks, still sitting in the number one spot today. The biggest other performers out of the underdogs. So Nike, Under Armour, Trade Desk, Crocs, and then Chipotle Mexican Grill out of my 5 underdog picks. CMG, Chipotle being the number one that I had out of those picks. Still sits there. And I think for good reason. I think Chipotle is a great company, and I think they're really going to navigate their way through this market. Take a little victory sip of water. There we go. So guys, decent day for the market. If you're looking in the right spots, NVIDIA is probably going to go through a little bit of pains here and there. We want to be watchful for that. That's going to set up for a major opportunity for a rock star company that's experiencing some near-term fears that are going to rattle it. However, I think that they are innovators, and I think that they also have that first mover advantage. And remember, as opposed to Google's TPUs, which do run at a lower power, but they also have a much more narrow use, sort of like an ASIC, if you will, so application-specific integrated circuit, like we saw for Bitcoin miners back in the day, for example, when the ASICs came out and people weren't just running off their GPUs. That was very revolutionary for the time, ran much lower because it was something made specifically for that task. And that's a little bit more what we're seeing with the TPUs for Google, at least as far as I understand it. Tech's not my area, more of just a nerd when it comes to tech. Math is more my area, with a huge passion for finance. Been in education for 18 years so far. I can tell you, I love it. I do love this YouTube gig as well. So you guys can let me know what you think of the video down in the comments. What do you think about these companies? Chipotle, DraftKings, RH. Are they companies that you are excited about? What about Bitcoin? What about the overall market bias? Are we going to be able to get over that selling pressure territory that we're getting to? Or are we going to have a little bit more of a stumble or volatility first? Are we going to shop sideways? Let me know your opinion down in the comments. Otherwise, guys, I'll see you over in the Discord. Link in the description. And also, Stockmo Academy now has 3 courses. We have the trading with technicals. We also have options. And now the crypto course is also now live. Code word doctor is going to save you $400 when you sign up for those courses. If you bundle the course together, there's a bundle discount that goes along with that $400 discount. Guys, thanks for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.